Welcome to the Arsenal Show. We are live. It's a stressful week. We had the stress of the draw the other day. Then we had PGMOL, PGMOL, the Referees Association, deciding to make an apology for the mistake that they made the other day. We'll be talking about that. And then we've got Manchester City, now 3 points behind us in the league, breathing down our necks. Big game tomorrow. We'll be talking about that. I'm joined by Steve, Kate, and Jerome Marks. How you doing, boys?
Yeah, good, mate. Very good.
Good.
Well, actually, not very good at all. Actually, but
I was gonna say the drop points, the delayed apology, the lack of drawing of lines.
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm hearing these excuses, we're going to be talking about that in a minute. But first of all, Jerome, you wasn't here for the post-match reaction. What were your thoughts on the Brentford game the other day?
Yeah, gutted we didn't win, because I think every game now, every dropped point is basically massively crucial. So gutted we didn't win. Obviously, we didn't play to the standards we set early in the season, which is just, it's going to happen. You can't play 9-10 out of 10 every week. And it was one of those games, like it was like a throwback game where you're just trying to, it's like attack against defence. You're like sitting there proper frustrated. They created like much clear cut chances, much clearer chances than us, Brentford. But we had all of the ball, and just frustrating. We couldn't. I mean, we did break them down in the end, but you know, when there's only one goal in it, it just takes, as we know, either a dodgy decision, a mistake, a slip, and the game's totally changed. So yeah, overall, just really disappointed that we didn't pick up 3 points. Really.
Yeah. Steve, any more thoughts on the game? Do you think we could have done anything different? I know there was the incident that we had there, but Arsenal didn't play their best. They managed to still get a breakthrough. Should they be looking at ourselves as well there?
No, I don't think. I mean, we could have played better. There's no doubt about that. But I think when you look at it, you know, like after the game, and you calm down a bit and you look into it maybe a little bit more deeply, starts thinking about it a little bit more. Again, you see the reaction of some Arsenal fans, and I think it was a little bit over the top. Like I said at the beginning, there, I don't think we was nowhere near our best. But I thought when we come out the second half, I thought that, you know, we just did mostly. We had all the ball. We had 70% of the possession in the second half, and you know, we knocked on the door. We was pushing. We was trying to score the goal. Yes, there was players that, you know, that we've seen this season who could have been a lot better on the day, but we kept going. We made the right substitution. We did score an excellent goal. Brentford are a good side. You know, I think people just seem to keep forgetting about who we played. I've seen a lot of people turn around and say, oh, teams like Brentford you should beat. Teams like Brentford we should be winning against. If you're going to win the title, you've got to beat teams like Brentford. Well, Brentford have only been beat once in the top out of all the top six all season, and that was against Arsenal. So a little bit more respect towards Brentford, you know, and a little bit extra thought from some Arsenal fans should have been put into that, because they're a very good side this season, and you know, they're pushing for Europe, and I wouldn't be surprised if they made it. Could we have got a point? Could we have got 3 points? A lot of people were turning around and saying Brentford should have been 2-3-0 up. I mean, I was one of them. But at the end of the day, you know, their centre forwards miss ridiculous sitters. So on the other end of it, you could turn around and say, well, they didn't really deserve it because they should have scored those goals, and their strikers wasn't great on the day. I mean, Tony worked hard, but you know, he should have scored. Murumbu should have scored. Poor finishing, really. So, but it wasn't as bad as what I thought. But then it came to the big decision there, which changed everything for me.
Yeah, and with that decision, there's since it came to light that obviously there was a mistake, something that Mikel Arteta spotted straight away. They came out with an apology on Sunday. The PGMOL confirmed that Chief Refereeing Officer Howard Webb had contacted Arsenal to acknowledge and explain the significant errors in the VAR process. The statement read, both incidents were due to human error and related to the analysis of the offside situations. And related to the offside analysis of offside situations are being thoroughly reviewed by the PGMOL. However, Arteta is understandably feels aggrieved and let rip at the press conference ahead of Wednesday's meeting at Man City. We'll get onto the comments that Mikel Arteta said there first. After. But first of all, Jerome, Howard Webb comes out afterwards. He said it's down to human error. Does that feel like a good enough excuse? Considering the referee would have had himself looking at the incident, he would have also had a refereeing assistant there as well, a VAR assistant for him. Should they have a checklist? How have they both missed that? Like, if he was flying a plane and the pilot hadn't put down his landing gear, you'd hope that the co-pilot would turn around and give him a warning.
Oh, it's bad, isn't it? It's bad, isn't it? Whichever way you look at it. I mean, let's face it, these VAR officials, I mean, they're probably sitting drinking tea and coffee for 90% of those games. They only have maybe one or two decisions a game to make. Then it's not like they're constantly busy and they're knackered and their head's gone and they've made a mistake. It's terrible. I mean, when I was watching it, I was able to watch it live. It was on TV out here, and when I'm watching the goal, when I watch the goal go in and see the replays, and they show you what VAR are checking, and they kept checking the first ball that was played in, which that was offside, but they never showed the second ball when the guy flicked it over to the guy that ended up crossing it to Tony. I'm like, why aren't they showing that? Because I can see that guy looks like he could be slightly ahead of the defender.
The only thing that I was the only bit where I was thinking, maybe it's the angles, because throughout the World Cup, how many times did we get told, no, it's your angles. Your angles are wrong. You're looking at the wrong angle. And I'm thinking, it must be the angles that we're looking at, because that looks like he's offside. But I'm looking at it from an angle which could show that actually they would be level, but it's just that angle showing that it looks like his arm and potentially leg is slightly offside.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I don't like all these new offsides even with the lines being drawn, because I think that's just silly. I think if it's so tight that you've got to start drawing lines, I think give a goal. But the fact is that that's not how it's done. There's new laws in place, and they've got all these new systems. And the fact that he didn't even check to see the second one, to me, there's more to it than that. It doesn't make sense. And you can say human error. You can put any words you want out there. It's but the trouble with it is that sometimes when people make mistakes in life, you can in anything, you can make up for it. You can get something back in some way. With football, once mistakes are made and the game's finished and you've lost the points, it is impossible to do anything about it. You can't make up for it. So you can apologise. That's great. Thank you very much. But you can't. But you're not going to get any practical, anything practical out of it, which is a shame. So hopefully it will just galvanise the team. But I looked at the other incident. I know it's years ago. Was the Van Persie one when he got sent off at Barcelona? There's a few incidents that sort of make your blood boil, and that was one. And I think this is another one. It's Yeah, there's no words to describe how bad it is, to be honest.
Yeah, let's not forget about Sol Campbell sending off.
Yeah.
That also goes in there.
And I'll tell you one other thing. I know that I listen to other podcasts and stuff, and I know that people don't like talking about referees and referees' decisions. But the fact of the matter is that these decisions these days have a massive effect on games, on results, on titles, on relegations. If they didn't have as big a effect on all that, then yeah, it probably wouldn't be worth talking about. But because they have such a significant part to play, you've got to talk about it because they have a massive effect on the outcome.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. Steve, Howard Webb's come out with a statement. He's apologised for the situation. Human error, they say. How is it possible that they missed the lines? Like there's news going around that says that Lee Mason was apparently spent so long on that first bit that he'd panicked. I don't understand any of this. It still just sounds like an excuse. He's panicked and then he's just gone with that decision. I don't understand. Surely if you're panicking, you want to make sure, if you've taken that long, you want to make sure you get it right. But you've panicked and only done half the job. I don't understand. I don't understand the excuse. What's your thoughts on that, Steve?
I mean, human error. I don't know about human error. For me, human error is something where a referee on the football pitch makes a mistake, and you can live with that, because you're a human being, right? That's his job, and then you can get the Howard Webbs of this world come out and say, look, that was human error. And we have to hold our hands up because referees made the decisions, the referees made the mistake, right? So human error to me is, when I see that wording, I was like, are you seriously taking the piss, right? Because it just really didn't mean anything to me. I'm going to take it a little bit more, and probably going to sound a little bit more angrier than what some have. But for me, just Lee Mason should never, ever, ever be allowed near a football stadium ever again. Ever. This ain't the first time he's done this. Apparently, he's done it. He's made 4 cock-ups. I found
one of
out
them. The other one was this season.
One of them was this season, right? Both for Arsenal, right?
The Martinelli one.
Both for Arsenal, right? People have skipped and ducked and dive around the word corruption. I'm not doing no ducking and diving at all tonight, right? We're all here from parts of the world where sometimes you can look into something and you can just go, nah, pal, don't give me all that. I know. Sometimes things just do not add up, mate. You just said like a little while ago, some things don't add up. When the Martinelli one against Manchester United, right? Absolute joke, right? It was a goal. We felt it was a goal, and it come out afterwards. It was proven that it was a goal, right? That's one, right? We seem to let that go. Now he's back again, and now he's done it again, right? Human error for a referee. Yeah, I can accept that apology if it's a referee's error. This has gone up to VAR, right, Kears? Now, they trained, these referees trained for 2 years before VAR come into fruition in the Premier League. 2 years. Now, when you get an offside decision, the first thing you do when you get an offside decision is you put up the lines. And you're telling me that Lee Mason is sitting in his chair and he forgets? Now, that to me sounds very, very dodgy indeed to me. Very dodgy. I think there's more to this. I genuinely do. How can you forget to do the lines?
It's the only thing you've got to do. It's the only thing
exactly, Jerome. It is the only sorry, I've probably been waiting for tonight because I have to watch what I say on Twitter. I can't say certain things, but this guy can never be allowed anywhere near because for me there's too much now hanging over his edge. Right? He's given Manchester clubs more points this season, right, than they've got anywhere else. Why don't you go and give them a few more?
Yeah, you make a good point.
It's getting ridiculous, mate. Oh,
when you say he's got one job. Now, when you look at the lines, when you look at the lines or the offside decisions this season or last season or since VAR's come in, the first thing that we were like, what the hell is this? It was about the lines. It wasn't about the look. It weren't about, he's going to just see they pull up the lines. It's the lines. So I do wonder how
you have to.
I do wonder how he's forgotten that the main bit. Like, I know they said that he's looked at the first bit because it was the blocking, but that's you've got to look at where whoever's the goal scorer. Yeah. You've got to look at where he is off, and you see where he is off, and you look at the sets of play. So yeah, no,
I mean, like 3 years they went, kids. 3 years they do it. They're there to check offsides. They're there to check the lines. How do you forget? He's either lost his plot or he's gone, and he should. There's no way this is corruption. There's something more dodgy going on. It's more dodgy. He's done the same thing in Manchester at Man United again, and he's doing it again now. It's absolutely. I just can't. You have 3 years of training, and I'm keep repeating myself because I can't get my head around it. It's the only thing you do when you're checking an offside. When you're checking an offside, you put the lines up. How do you forget? What there must have been something else going on there. For him to, I just don't think, and what it is he's been banned for the weekend. He's just slap wrist. What? This guy should be banned for life. And where's he from? Where's Lee Mason from? Manchester. But
that's one thing that I spoke about before. Like, they need that. I think it's like 70 or 80% of the referees are from the northwest of the country. Like, they're from the Manchester area. Now, why do we not have more referees that are coming from London? Why do we not have more referees that come from the Midlands? Now, I'm not saying we need to fast track them, but we need to have more of an incentive. You need to look along the line. Why is it that referees, as young referees in the Sunday League and the Saturday League, why are they not making it from Saturday League to then professional? Where's the gap? Yeah. What are they getting harassed? What is it? Why are they not wanting to carry on that job as a professional job? Because it's decent money. Why is it the people from up north want to take that job, but the people from down south don't? That's what Howard Webb needs to be looking into. Not just offering good wages and great prospects and great travel for these jobs, because it will just be the same people that are taking them up. You need to look at why clubs in London, people from London and people from the Midlands are not taking up these roles as referees, because we need more diversity when it comes to refereeing, not just everyone from the same area, because otherwise when stuff like this happens, questions are going to be asked and integrity is going to be questioned, and it has to be, especially when Lee Mason has made the two mistakes against the same club. And two mistakes. One of them is outrageous, this latest one. But the first one, they've already admitted that he had no reason to get involved in that situation because it wasn't clear and obvious. It's an opinion. In his opinion, Martinelli went in too hard, or Odegaard went in too hard in that challenge. In his opinion, and that's not what he's there for. That's not what you're there for, because you can guarantee, in 99% of the time we've seen, if the referee has been asked to go to VAR, the chances are they will not overrule it, because if they do overrule it and they prove to be wrong, they're the ones that are going to be sitting in the stand for the next 2 weeks, and no one wants that. You get a black mark. You don't want that. You refereeing in the championship for a few weeks. You don't want that. So that they need to fix up on that as well. Referees shouldn't be penalised if they want to stand by their judgment on the pitch. If they've looked at VAR and they've looked at it from a few angles and gone, do you know what? No, I'm sticking with that. They shouldn't be taken apart for that. No way. No
do you know
way.
what I think is? Do you know what I think? Sorry, Jerome. Right. Do you know what I think they should do? They should, if whoever's in VAR, right, they should check what they check and say, right, I've checked something. Now I want you, referee on the pitch. Now you can go and make your final decision. But I've had a look at it, and I think you might need to have a look at it, right? And then if that was the case, if then the excuse me, referee would have gone over and had a look at the screen and then had a look himself, he would have given that offside.
But we're in a situation where we're talking about referees having assistants have now VAR assistants and VAR, and now we're talking about it's now got to go to another level of checks. This is crazy. Like we shouldn't be at the situation. I have no issues with VAR. I think VAR is a very good product.
If used
I have
properly.
no issues. Exactly. I have no issues with the goal line technology. I do not like the offside rule, but it's the rule. We've had it for three seasons now. I didn't like the fact that you could have your toe now offside and it's offside. But now we know if you are offside, you are offside. It doesn't matter whether it's your foot, your hand, your toe, or your arse cheeks. It don't matter. You're offside. So those are the rules. We've just got to deal with it. However, there's too many issues and problems going on with the people they have in Stockley Park. Those are the issues. Like, they are incompetent at their job. Jerome, why is Lee Mason reffing in Stockley Park when he's not good enough to be a ref anymore? Yeah. Lee Mason hasn't been good enough to be a ref for a few years now. Why is he in Stockley Park? Why is his judgment on the pitch going to be any different from his judgment upstairs? Because he's got a few more angles. Because now he's got pressure on him. Because now he's got pressure. He's got in his ear. Come on, it's been 3 minutes now. How long left? How long left? With people waiting for that decision. Now, as soon as someone goes, how long left, Lee? How long left, Lee? And he's panicking, 10 seconds is going to feel like 5 minutes. That extra minute is going to feel like 20 minutes to him. He's sweating. His assistant's probably saying, Lee, it's been another minute. We need to give him a decision. All right, we'll just go with that. We'll just go with that. Now, if that was the case and you've done that, you should definitely never be working in there again because you can't handle the pressure. But I say, why are the old refs old dog, new trick? Don't be offended, people. I'm an old dog, but I'm not expecting to go and learn the newest technology in the world. Why do we not have VAR specific refs? Why do we not have refs who are trained up on the technology but are young, aspiring refs who know technology, who will not miss things like this, who know the ins and outs of how to work this technology? They are Stockley Park refs. They don't have to ref on the pitch. They see it from a different angle. They know refereeing because they've done it from 10 or 15 to 20, 25, but they're Stockley Park refs. They're VAR refs. They're not refs anymore. They're not going onto a pitch. Why has it got to be these old, tired referees who we don't like the decisions on the pitch, so we stick them in VAR? That doesn't make sense to me. They're done. You're retired. You're done. Your decisions are not valid anymore, mate. You're making the wrong decisions. You're making the wrong calls. People like Andre Mariner still refs a game as if he's reffing a Sunday league game or a conference game. He refs it like it's a wrestling match and people get injured during his matches. I don't like him as a ref, yet he will go up in VAR now and make decisions on hard crunching tackles. We've got, who's the other donut who always made the faces? Because he wants to be popular. He wants to be funny, man.
Not Mike Dean.
Mike Dean. So we'll have Mike Dean, who we don't like as a referee. We don't like his decisions as a referee because he's too cocky. He wants to be that guy. He now goes upstairs and he makes those same decisions upstairs. Where's the logic in that? Where's the logic? He takes his same attitude from downstairs to upstairs now. Yeah. What? No, you're not there to be an entertainer, mate. You're there to be a referee and make the key decisions, the right decisions. It's poor. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. We have to move on from that one. Quickly, let me go over Mikel Arteta's comments first. Mikel Arteta went on to say, we appreciate the apology and the explanation. At the same time, that's it. We have to move on, Arteta explained. That has made players, staff, and our fans stronger to pass this hurdle that they have put us under. When asked if he was satisfied with the PGMOL's apology, Arteta made it clear that the pain of the error was going to take some time to heal. He added, I will only be satisfied if they give us 2 points back, which is not going to happen in this case. Yeah. So, yeah, he's right. I'll only be happy if they give us 2 points back. They can't give us 2 points back, so you're not happy.
But sometimes it works against... Sorry, Joe, go on.
All I was going to say is that the damage has been done. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, like, sometimes VAR is good. I mean, I will admit it, like you said at the beginning there, it's good. Look, let's state the facts here. Do you know what I mean? If there was no VAR, the Eddie Nketiah goal against Manchester United might have been given offside if VAR hadn't checked it, right? Yeah. But you had a competent person on VAR there who, shock, horror, decided to put up the lines. Wow. You know, which is the first job, and they realised that it was on. It's like you can take decisions. It's like the Gabriel thing where he slipped, pulled the shirt, and the guy went on and scored, and it was given as a free kick. Yeah, that was soft. That could have been given. It could have been a free kick, but it's referee error, right? It's a referee's error. You have to accept them. Yeah, you can accept it, given for you and against you. But mate, there's no excuse for this. This is absolutely ridiculous. You know, the same with the Gabriel pull of the shirt, you know, against Newcastle. I mean, how can wasn't that not a penalty?
Oh yeah, no, that's another one. That's another one. But
that's another thing.
I spoke about before the Oxford, where we got a fine because it was a blatant penalty. I said it before. I personally feel, I know how footballers work. As soon as they saw this whole rule of if your arm is in a specific place, it's not out of place. Like, I know footballers, would have gone amongst themselves. Not everyone, but there's enough footballers in the league, to get together and go, how can we, if we did that, and they do it. How comes I've seen multiple now, but I've seen 3 massive incidents where a player has dived at a funny angle, which is essentially a goalkeeper save. It's hit his hand and it's gone to VAR for a penalty. Twice it hasn't been given, and once it got given in the World Cup. Twice. Once was against Oxford. Last week against was it Chelsea against West Ham? Was it Souček who handballed it? I think it was. And these ones, like problems all over the place that they need sorting out. Big problems. Howard Webb needs to. It's got a lot of work to do. It's
like we need VAR for VAR.
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't sit there and have another
it's
level.
Like when VAR check it, we need someone else on VAR to check that again, and that the VAR's right.
Yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke. Except for that
joke. The thing is, one more thing, and that's it. I realised one thing you've got to move on. You know, he's got one job to do. One job is to check the lines. I mean, what chance have you got if you can't do that for an offside? I don't know.
All right, let's get on to something else a little bit more positive. At the moment, we've got plenty of loanees out. and plenty of loanees are doing the business. Charlie Patino, Nuno Tavares, Florent Balogun, top goal scorer in France, bagged another goal the other day. And Austin Trusty at Birmingham City is also setting the world alight, according to some of the Birmingham fans. He's doing a good job there. Jerome, you've had a little look at a couple of them. Let's start off with Charlie Patino. How's his season going so far? And what's he looking like? Is he matured? Is he getting bigger?
Yeah, he's definitely bulked out a bit. I think he could still be a bit stronger, perhaps, but that's to be expected. The funny thing is with all our loan players, every time you go on the internet and have a look at how they're doing, every little article or clip says, yeah, man of the match, man of the match, man of the match. I mean, all of them. Patino numerous times, man of the match, best player for Blackpool, scored against Southampton in the FA Cup. Yeah, like all the fans love him, but you know he's playing in a tough league. Like there's a lot of like up and unders going on, but like he's playing, and yeah, I think next season might be a bit soon again, but better in playing than not. But yeah, he's been putting good performances. Patino.
What is he? Number 8? Is he number 8?
Yeah, he's centre midfield. Centre midfield.
What, number 8, like box to box player? Like,
yeah, he does get box to box. He doesn't just sit. He looks comfortable, to be honest, anywhere in the middle. He looks comfortable, whether it be dribbling past players, spraying balls. So yeah.
Do you think it's a case of he'd come back in over the next season or two? Do you think it's worth another loan? Yeah. How would you play it?
I think another loan, and I'll tell you for why. Because all our team, apart from the centre midfield, our team is so young. I think to add another youngster in the centre midfield, I'm not sure that would be too clever. So I think another year playing football out on loan.
Would you send him to a championship team, or would you look to bed him in a Premier League team?
Look, if a Prem team will take him and he'll play, I'd do that. But I don't know if a Prem team would take him, to be honest, and play him. I think the most important thing is to play.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll do what Balogun's done and play in a foreign league in the top division.
Send him to France. We do well there.
Yeah, send him to Reims.
Stade Reims, not Ream. Yeah. It's not Ream, people. It's not Ream. Will, what's his name? Said it's not Ream.
Will Still. Is it Will Still?
Will Still. Yeah. What's her name? Yeah. Will Still. He said it's not Ream.
Mate, he'll be a big coach in the future, I reckon.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah, very humble. That's a very good interview you sent me.
Yeah.
Decent. That was. Another player that's doing well was at Arsenal last season. Felt a bit aggrieved by playing out of position, so he said, Nuno Tavares. He's bagging goals and getting assists as well this season.
Yeah, he's already scored 5 goals. Tavares, and like the goal, he used to get into these really good positions at Arsenal last season, and he'd just swing his foot and it would just go like miles wide or over the bar. They just seem to be like going in this season. It's like just the difference. His finishing is, everything he's hitting is going in the back of the net, and they're like good finishes as well. They're not like tap-ins. He seems super composed. He just seems really composed when he's in the box.
He's a bit of a different player since he's been over there, isn't he?
Yeah, like physically he's brilliant. Like in terms of his power and his sprinting, he just like walks past players.
He does, doesn't he? He's bullying people.
Yeah. He's, it's like when you play on a computer game and there's just one person that's just a lot quicker than the others. Like that's what he's like. But yeah, he's banging in the goals for Marseille. Left foot, right foot. Good finishes as well.
I think they see a who's the Canadian fella at Bayern?
Alphonso Davies.
Yeah, I think they see that in him because Alphonso Davies when he first came in was very raw, quick, lightning, and just you couldn't get dribble ball off him because he just dribbles past people. He's obviously he's honed in his defensive skills and he's a better player just from being at Bayern Munich. But I think the rawness of what they see with Tavares is what I think they see a similar type. So it'd be interesting to see what they do. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. It's a good point, and the similarities are there. I think with Tavares, comparing him to Alphonso Davies or any other player for that matter, I think the big thing that he needs to sort of overcome Tavares, I think it's all in his mind. I think he's got the technical skills, he's got the strength, he's got the speed to play at that level, but sometimes it's a concentration, or he's thinking elsewhere, because physically and he's got everything you want from that type of player, like especially if you're an attacking team. But I think it's just getting his mind right, really.
So if he came back to Arsenal, where would he play, Jerome? Where would you think he would fit in to like the squad? What is he, left back, right back? I mean, I know he's been playing right wing or been playing everywhere, isn't he? Where would he best be suited for us?
But I think still an attacking left back. That would be for me. I don't know if you'd play him like where Martinelli plays. I don't think I'd play him that high up. I'm not sure. I think he's good when he's got a lot of space in front of him to run and like help the attack. I don't know if I'd start him as I don't know if he's technically dribbling like in small spaces good enough for that position, but yeah, maybe left back still.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because he's played pretty much everywhere for Marseille, which is crazy considering when he joined them, he moaned about not playing in his position, and I think he only ever played out of position for Arsenal like twice as a sub. Whereas for Marseille, he's played left back, right back, left wing, right wing, or left mid, right mid, or wing back, however you want to play it. But yeah. Look, good luck to him. I would like to see him come back and see if he can get into the team. There's if he wants to be a versatile player, there's plenty of positions that he can cover. Yeah, I mean he's a big talent and got him for 7 million. I think even if we were to sell him, we'd probably get about 25-30 now. So a definite profit on that as well. Another name that has been going around, Florent Balogun bagged a hat trick to go top goal scorer in the French league, and then scored another goal in a 4-0 victory against Troyes. Yeah.
Really nice finish, that one. Running onto it, bottom left-hand corner. The hat trick he scores, funnily enough, I don't know if you saw who it was against. It was against one of our goalkeepers.
Yes, Victor Manoni. Vito Manoni. By the way, some of the goalkeeping in that league, there's a couple of those games I watched. Oh, geez, the goalkeeping ain't the best. Like, not taking anything away from Balogun, but just have a look at some of the goalkeeping. This is such an interesting one with Balogun. What's going to happen with him? Yeah.
I got to keep him.
What's that?
Got to keep him. Got to keep him. I think
the thing is, no one in Europe's got any money to buy him. He's only going to go for a lot of money to a Premier League club.
We definitely can't sell him to a Prem club. I don't think we should sell him anyway.
No, exactly.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm just saying that there's no way a foreign club would buy him. That's for me. That's out. That scenario is out of the question. Just because they ain't got any money.
No, we're talking about 35 million minimum. We're talking top goal scorer in France, 40 mil. Like, come on. Top goal scorer in France. It doesn't matter if you don't 1 season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons. I've seen, how much did Ekiteke go for? He scored 9 goals last season.
Yeah.
If Arsenal were to sell Balogun, you're just talking the 40 million mark.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting.
Yeah. I hope he don't go. I think we're seeing the Balogun that we see in the under-23s when we was really excited. Really excited. Well, I mean, his finishing was like, it was like, wow, this kid's like something special. And he came into our the first team, and he wasn't really there, was he? You know, he wasn't performing, but I think this is just what he needs.
Yeah, no, it is just what you needed. What's your thoughts, Jerome? How would you play it with him? Would you bring him back next season? Would you loan him out again? Look for a Prem club abroad? How would you play it out?
I think
See a career at Arsenal?
You got to give him a chance. You've sent him out on loan. You've only got 2 strikers at the club as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you've got to give him a chance. Hopefully, we'll have Champions League football next season as well.
Yeah,
I hope so.
You got to give him a chance in pre-season. I think see how he gets on.
Yeah, Steve, what's your thoughts on Balogun? How do you play it?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. You know, if you're talking about him bringing this form into the Premiership, then you know. But there's this. I think after what he's been doing in the French league this year, what we've seen, I personally don't think we should put him back out on loan again. I think we really now probably looking at saying, now can he do that in the Prem? And I think Jerome's right. I think we should bring him back and start, you know, integrating him into the team, and you know, seeing what he could do, because you know we love Eddie Nketiah, but who's to say that this kid, you know, wouldn't overtake Eddie Nketiah and be the number 2 to Jesus? I don't know. He certainly seems, you know, he seems a better footballer, and he does seem a better finisher than Eddie. But Eddie's done it at a much higher level. So I want to see what he can do in the Premier League. So I think like maybe a month or 2 ago, I think I would have said that send him out on loan again. But this guy's doing it every week in, week out. He's the top leading goal scorer in French football. Mm-hmm. So I think because of that, to send him out on loan again, what's he going to be? Is he going to be the top French player in French football again? You know, and then you think, oh, he's done it again, or do you bring him back? I'd like to see him bring him back, and because you know you need a squad, you need a big squad. You know, but then again, you don't know what Florian Balogun's state of mind is going to be. Is it going to be a state of mind where he might want to move on? You know, how invested is he in Arsenal? Does he love the club to be here? Because he ain't going to get in front of Jesus when he's back. But I'd like to see him come back. I'd like to see him integrated into the side, because I think we've got something really special. And looking at from his development from the under-23s to what he's doing in the French league, scored more goals than Mbappe and Messi. The kid could be anything. So he's getting back.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I was going to say, you're right there, Steve. Yeah, nothing that Balogun said makes me feel like his mind is elsewhere in terms of it doesn't. From what I've seen in interviews, anything I've heard, it doesn't feel like this season and his rise to the top of the French leagues has made him think that his career needs to change. His career path needs to change in terms of not being at Arsenal. Even with the comments that he came up with when he scored his equaliser against PSG, and he spoke about how Arsenal are like a family, how this is part of his process, and even with what Mikel Arteta says, he does the same. He says the same as what he was saying with Saliba in terms of they've gone out here, and it's good to see that it's the right decision us sending them out there. I personally don't think you should even be whatever the player wants. You should be like you signed a 5-year contract before you went out, or whatever it was. You're here, like you've been sent on loan to get valuable experience to come back into the team to then be integrated into the team and fight for a spot, for a first team spot. That's what you've been sent out for. I don't think we should be getting drawn into the players excited about how he's had that season and he wants out. Like, I'll be like, no, mate, that's not how it works. Like, you're staying here, you'll fight for a place. There's plenty of opportunities here. Plus, as we know, as we've seen with his under 21s, under 23s, he's a player who's very versatile. He's playing as a centre forward for Rems. However, in the under 23s at Arsenal, he was very much a left winger forward, a left forward who would cut in from the left and shoot from there. And his link up play was just as impressive as his goal scoring. So a player like that for me is someone that you want to hold on to and not contemplate moving on. Massive talent as well.
I don't think it'd be difficult, Kears, to keep him to stay, because I think someone's just got to say in his ear, look at what Arteta's done with Saka, Martinelli, Eddie Nketiah. Very young players, and they can say, look, you could be where they are in a year or two's time, mate. So you're going to go somewhere else. You got to be off. You got to be crazy, son. You know, exactly. If it was one that Jack Wilshere or someone like that was to pull him to one side, or anybody, any of the top players, Xhaka or it's
not just Jack Wilshere now. Cesc Fabregas is in the coaching staff. Not officially, he's working with Jack at the moment. So there's a lot of experience and a lot of old heads that can have a good influence on him, which I love at Arsenal at the moment. That they're looking to bring in their old players. I love that potentially we could move on from the way that Cesc Fabregas left and end up at Chelsea and bring him back into the team, because he was a massive part of our Arsenal history. Yeah, we didn't win things, but he was massive coming in as a 16-year-old, starting as a 16-year-old in the Carabao Cup, playing Premier League as a 17-year-old. It's crazy. Like, yeah, he was serious. So it'd be nice to see him back at Arsenal as well. And one last one, Jerome. Austin Trusty. One people may not have been keeping tabs on because they didn't know much about him. I think he come from Colorado beforehand. He's doing pretty well at Birmingham now. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, another one where you click on the links and it says man of the match. He scored a last-minute winner for Birmingham up at Swansea the other day. I think he plays left back in a back, sort of left centre back in a back three, and Arsenal just signed that Kirill to sort of play with instead of Gabriel. So, as I said last time, reminds me very much of Tyrone Mings type of left-footed defender. He's all over the place. He's popping up centre midfield, left wing, like. It's like the manager said to him, "Here, have a free roll and just go wherever you want." Hopefully he's building up his worth.
Yeah,
but he's playing well for Birmingham.
You think this one might be a quick flip, quick turnover, get him in, see how he does for a season, sell him on?
Yeah, I think it's more of the relationship that Arsenal have got with Colorado more than anything else. Yeah, I don't think we'll see play a first team game for us. But yeah, hopefully they can make some money on him.
All right.
I did see an interview. He seems pretty. What's the word? You know, I used the word invested into wanting to make it at Arsenal. I did, and to be fair, apart from that, I've been really sort of interesting to listen to what Jerome said, because I don't know much about him. So I did read an interview, and he was like, "I want to make it at Arsenal. I've seen Saliba. He's one of my heroes, and what he's come through." So that was interesting, to show where his mind is.
Yeah, Look. I'm sure he'll come back in pre-season and at least get to don the shirt on and have a little run around at least. So we'll see. And look, he's having a good season at Birmingham, so I wouldn't be surprised if he has this good season and a team in the Premier League might look to bring him in on loan next season, and it'd be interesting to see how he does then. Get a little bit more of a closer eye on him. So that's our loanies. There's plenty more that are also out there, but they're the ones that seem to be doing the best at the moment. So we'll be keeping tabs on them for the remainder of the season. Updates from Jerome as well, and we'll see what happens to them come the summer. Last but by no means least, 10 minutes to go. The big game tomorrow night. Steve, Man City, Arsenal, a massive game, 6-pointer. They're only 3 points behind. Forget game in hand. If Arsenal drop points tomorrow, psychologically, that will put them in a bad place, surely.
Well, it won't be good, will it? You know, if they win tomorrow, they'll go above us. And you're right when you said it's a 6-pointer. I want this over with. I just don't. You know, I'll be looking at the clock after 5 minutes and it'll feel like 80 minutes already. So that's genuinely the feeling I get. I'm sure you've been there, but it's an enormous fixture. It's a massive fixture. It's the two best teams in the country coming up against each other. The two best teams, football-wise, in the country coming up together. It's first versus second, and there's just so much just resting on it. And I'm an absolute bag of nerves. It is already. You know, I just can't wait for this. The thought of like losing it is you know, I just can't bear the thought of losing it. We have to win it. We don't, you know, we can draw it. Do you know what I mean? We can get a draw. You know, we can be 3 points in front. If you win our game in hand, that still puts us 6 points in front. But tomorrow we can go 6 points in front and then still have a game in hand. So theoretically, we could be 9. But there's so many caveats to the team. What's going to happen? What we're going to do? Who's Arteta going to play? What's the team's going to be? It's just I've gone over and over in my head so many times, changing my thoughts on should I bring someone out? Should I bring someone in? Would I make any changes? Will I keep with the same team? It's massive, mate. It's absolutely enormous. And tomorrow's game will go a long way to say who's going to probably come away, who's going to be winning the title next year. I'd be interested to see what everybody's thoughts are on like their teams for tomorrow. Maybe we can do that before we go because I'm stuck in between so many different versions. I've changed from one thing to another. You know, we've got Trossard, Martinelli, we've got Ben White, we've got Tomiyasu. I've flitted around with whether we should play even Tierney in this one, and you know, all sorts of different things been going around in my head. But mate, it's absolutely enormous. Yeah, maybe if we come back to me in a minute, I'll tell you what my team would be. But unless you want to tell me now what I think my team would be.
Let's get to Jerome first. Jerome, massive game tomorrow. What's your thoughts? It's Arsenal must not lose.
Yeah, that is it. It's a must not lose. Oh man, I think that there was definitely nerves in the ground against Brentford. You could tell it watching on the TV, and I think that there can't be those nerves like in the stadium on Wednesday. It's just got to be so full of energy. Like the fans have got to play their part. But normally when we've played Man City in recent years, we've played with like an inferiority complex, shown them too much respect. And when we played them at home last season, that totally changed. We were very much on the front foot, not worried about them. We were aggressive. And to beat Man City, I think that's the way you got to play it. You just got to go for it. And look, if you end up losing to the better team on the night, you hold your hands up and you say, you know what, fair enough. We gave it a go. Like, we've played unbelievable for 90% of this season. Like, just you got to sort of stick to what's been getting you results. So I just hope that we come away from the game and don't think, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Like, go out, give it a go, try and win it. And there's no disgrace in losing to Man City. but there is a disgrace if you don't give it a go. So I just hope that they go out there and they go for it, because it's like the risk reward. There's a massive reward for winning this game, and if we lose it, it's not great, and if we draw it, it's obviously not fantastic. But like a win is fucking massive, absolutely massive. If you win,
it'll say a lot when it Jerome. It'll say a lot to who's going to go and win this if we win this.
The confidence. A lot of this game, like a lot of life in general, it's all about confidence and psychology. And you win this game, you think, right, that's it. We've beaten the best team out there. We must be the best now, and that just gives you so much confidence moving forward. And other teams will be even more scared of you than they are at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. Steve, how much can the fans have play a part in this? Because we noticed slight tensions building in the Brentford game. But surely we've got to, as fans, we've got to sort of put that aside. We've got to be a bit braver. We've got to be a bit more patient. We can't be letting the tensions rise and frustrations be heard. Surely we've got to have that self-belief that we had early in the season when we were clapping and cheering on goals conceded to bring the team back. Surely we shouldn't be at the first point where it feels like we're in a bit of a bad form, mumblings and murmurs are going along. Like, are we fully gone to the other side and we've changed our culture, or are we still on a little bit of a knife edge?
No, I mean the Emirates Stadium this season is something like we've never ever seen before, probably ever. At an Arsenal stadium ever. Look, mainly, I think. Look, on tomorrow night, you know, the atmosphere in that ground is going to be like a volcano. Right? I've got no doubts about that. It's going to, once it starts getting close to kickoff, I've got no qualms. I've got no thoughts that crowd is going to erupt. And City haven't been to the Emirates, obviously, this season. It's only been the first time. We ain't played them in the Cup. It's not like we played them in the Cup where we got knocked out and they beat. They haven't been to the Emirates before, right? They're used to a bit of a quiet Emirates, or you know, a bit of a. They start to play well and we go quiet and da. They're going to wonder what's going on before that kickoff. You know, Jerome's been in that ground this season. I think you've been in the ground this season, Kears, and like. And especially after the farcical that's gone on, you know, with the Brentford game and us dropping, I'm going to say it, stealing 2 points off of us, right? That crowd is going to be extra angry. There's going to be an anger in that stadium.
You think it will galvanise everyone and bring everyone together?
Exactly, definitely, 100%. And it's going to be. And you heard Mikel Arteta's words as well. They said they came into training on the Monday, and they said, and they was asked by a reporter. They said, like, whatever the boys, like, are you up for it this week? And he said in his press conference, he said they're angry. They walked in angry. You know, the faces wasn't like they was like, come on, and you could see the angry faces. It was like, come on. They're upset about this Brentford thing, you know, because we've been cheated, and the players feel cheated, and they'll go out there against City on Wednesday night, and they will, and I've no doubts about it that they're going to try their hardest. Whether we come out of a win or not is another thing. But City, I think City is going to have to hold us. We will hit them right from the off, and that crowd will be sort of. You know, it'd be something like coming out of the Greece days and the Turkey days in them stadiums, because
it needs to.
It needs to. Yeah.
I think we need to build up like right now. The atmosphere is excellent. I think we could take it up a notch. I think we can make it a bit more nasty for the other teams. We're a nice crowd. We make a lot of noise when things are going right, and at the moment we're making a lot of noise when things aren't going right, like in a good way. But I think we could be a bit more, horrible. and we
I
can
think
let
he
people
will
know
be that.
you're not welcome at our ground. And then once we get that bit of hostility, people won't want to be there.
Because Man
Look at
City,
Everton.
Man City ain't used to playing in front of noisy crowds because the Etihad is like you can hear a pin drop. It's so quiet, it's unreal. So it was like in the FA Cup game, couldn't even hear any City fans. All you could hear was Arsenal fans, and that was at their ground.
It was like that, actually.
It was, wasn't it? So can you imagine? Can you imagine tomorrow night after this anger, after this cheating, after we've been robbed the weekend? We're going to erupt. They're I'm not going to say we're going to win the game, right? But they're going to know they've been in one, and then they'll just want to get in and get out as quick as they can.
Yeah. So, Steve, what's your starting lineup?
Oh God, yeah, I've swapped and changed. Look, Martinelli hasn't been playing well recently. We know that, and Trossard again come on and scored a goal, and he played well at the Emirates as well against Manchester United. He came on, he was on fire against them. But I'm not. I wouldn't make no changes. I'm going with the same team that's got us to where we are now. Yeah. And I feel they should be given a chance to get it right.
Yeah.
Jerome, what's your starting lineup?
Yeah, I agree with Steve. I know he's going to come back in a sec. So it'll probably continue, but yeah, I wouldn't change it either.
Go
on. Yeah, mate. Yeah, no. I as I said, I don't think I wouldn't change anything. I think Martinelli deserved a chance to play. I was thinking about it, and the first thing I thought of when I think should Trossard come in, I thought about who marks Martinelli, and I thought it was going to be Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker's legs are gone, or they're not as good as what they used to be. I see Martinelli a few highlights of him the last time we played City at the Emirates. He gave Walker a torrid. They were showing a few clips on Twitter, and I was watching it, and he was in a nightmare. And straight away, I thought, then that made my mind up, and I thought, let's get him. And another thing that made me mind up about that was because I just feel that Trossard coming off the bench will be better than Martinelli coming off the bench. I don't know why. It's probably because I've seen what Trossard can do off the bench at the Emirates. So to have that option on there, if we need to come on, if we need to get a goal, I haven't seen Martinelli really do that. Because he's been playing all the time. So why change it? We're the best at the moment. We are still the best team in the country up to now, even though we've had a couple of slips. And so let's keep with the same team. Ben White, I thought, was really good against Brentford. So I've decided that I would keep him. So yeah, let's go again.
All right, and Jerome, you're keeping the same team?
Yeah, I'd do the same. I know a couple of players maybe haven't performed to their level recently, but I think this type of game, I think it's like a cup final game, and I think it's like one of those things where form goes out the window. Really, I think everyone's energy is going to be completely different. The way they look at this game is going to spur players on. So I wouldn't change it. I think if you do change it, if you take Martinelli out of the team now, I think you knock his confidence. I don't see the point of it.
Yeah, a good point.
Stick with them, and look, we've got a couple of options if we have to change it. So yeah, go with it. They deserve to be given this chance to play against this team.
Yeah, I think he missed a trick, if I'm honest, in not starting Trossard the other day, because I personally would be starting Martinelli in this game. For me, Martinelli was starting in this game no matter what, and I think he needed a rest the other day. And I think that game would have suited Trossard more because it wasn't about just running down the wing. It was about mixing it up a bit, which you saw when he came on. It caused him a little bit more trouble because one, he was in more form, and two, he was just hugging the byline, which was a little bit easier for them. So yeah, hindsight. Well, not hindsight because I called that team in the first place, but yeah, no. Personally, I'll be sticking with the same team. Ben White did enough the other day to keep his spot. Wouldn't be changing that. And Gabriel Martinelli, for me, he's gonna hopefully he stretches the Manchester City team like he has done in previous games. So yeah, big game. Make sure you join us straight after the game for the post-match reaction and the player ratings. That is all we have time for. Thank you for joining us tonight, Steve.
Yeah, pleasure, mate. Cheers.
And thank you for joining us tonight, Jerome.
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
All right, cool. If you are a regular to the show, press that like and that share button. If you are new to the show, press that like, subscribe, and press the share button. Press the copy button. Make sure you join us tomorrow for the post-match reaction and player ratings. Have your say as well. Get into the comment section. Do not be shy. All right, peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.